Today, I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to use up leftover turkey. This easy casserole is full of turkey, some vegetables, and a creamy cheese sauce along with pasta. It's topped with some buttery cracker crumbs. Your family is going to love this recipe. Let's get started. I have about 1 pound of chopped turkey in this bowl. Now this is already cooked. It's a great way to use up some of that leftover Thanksgiving turkey in a way other than just turkey sandwiches. And I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle half of a teaspoon of seasoned salt over the top of that. And then I'll just stir it together a little bit and then set that to the side. We'll add more to this in a little bit. Next, I'll bring in a skillet, set it to medium heat. I'll add 2 tablespoons of salted butter to the skillet, along with 1 cup of diced white mushrooms. Now, if your family does not like mushrooms, you can go ahead and leave these out. If they're chopped finely, my family doesn't seem to care. 1/2 cup of diced white onion, and then half of a teaspoon of ground thyme. We're gonna let that simmer together just until the onion becomes slightly translucent and the mushrooms become just a little bit soft. It'll take about 3 to 4 minutes. Because everything is pre-cooked for this recipe, it's only in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's just so that the casserole can heat through. So you really want your onions and mushrooms cooked to the tenderness that you prefer when they're in this skillet, because they won't have a whole lot more time to soften in the oven. When the onions and mushrooms are done, we're gonna go ahead and transfer them to the bowl with the turkey. Now you wanna keep that skillet hot, but I'm gonna turn down the temperature a little bit because now we are going to make a flour and butter roux in order to make the base for our cheese sauce. So to the already heated skillet, I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of butter. And just allow that to melt. Then when the butter is almost melted, you'll add in 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Make sure you have a whisk handy and whisk that together until the mixture gets nice and thick. Once all the flour clumps are out, you'll go ahead and take 2 cups of milk. I'm using 2% milk. And just drizzle in the milk and continue to stir and whisk to prevent any clumps from forming. I'll only add about half the milk to start. Just keep whisking until it's well blended. And it's gonna start to thicken right away. So as it starts to thicken, go ahead and add a little bit more milk. And then as that mixes in and thickens, add in the last little bit of milk. Add in some turkey broth. If you don't have any turkey broth left over from your turkey, you can use chicken broth or you can use a vegetable broth. And just stir that in. We're gonna let that just come to barely a simmer so that it thickens slightly. As you turn up the heat, make sure that you stir constantly or that milk might scorch on the bottom of your pan. Now the liquid won't get really thick, so don't wait for it to get super thick like pudding. You don't want that. You just want it to thicken slightly. And once it gets to that point, you can go ahead and turn off the heat and add half of a cup of shredded Parmesan. Now, you want to use freshly shredded Parmesan. So buy a block of Parmesan, use a grater and grate that cheese. It's going to melt in so smoothly. If you buy the powdered Parmesan in the canister, it will not melt into your sauce. So just add half of a cup, you'll save the other half of a cup for the topping, and whisk that together. It should melt really quickly. Season with just a little bit of freshly cracked pepper, as much as you think your family would like, and then a little dash of salt. Bring your turkey and veggies back in, and we'll add that cheesy sauce to the bowl. Then we'll add in 2 cups of vegetables. Now you can use leftover green beans, you can use leftover corn, peas, carrots, whatever you happen to have in your fridge. I'm using a mixture of frozen vegetables. It's peas, carrots, corn, and green beans. It tastes so good in this recipe. Clean out your fridge, all the little bags of mixed frozen veggies you have in there. You can totally use it in this recipe. Then I'll add 8 ounces of cooked spaghetti. Again, if you have noodles that you need to use up, you can use rotini, you can use any type of noodle you would like, but I'm using spaghetti today. We're gonna stir that up. This bakes in a 9x13 pan. You'll want to spray it with cooking spray so it doesn't stick. Pick up the bowl and add it to the prepared pan. Use a spatula or a spoon just to spread that out and make sure the turkey is equally distributed along with the veggies and the pasta. The topping of this casserole is one of my favorite parts. You're going to crush up some butter crackers, so Ritz cracker or another brand of butter cracker. You want about half of a cup of cracker crumbs and just sprinkle those on top. And then sprinkle the last half of the freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I have the oven preheated to 400 degrees. This will bake for about 17 to 20 minutes until it's heated through. Remember, it's all cooked, so you're just needing to heat it through. This casserole smells amazing when it's cooking. It smells a little bit like Thanksgiving dinner with some cheese in there. It is so good. You can print this recipe at tasteoflizzyt.com. Thanks for watching today. I hope your family loves this recipe. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check back soon for a new video.